Welcome back, Dram Fam, to the last episode of the Whisky Diary for 2021. So you're here because you want to know a bit more about the Glasgow Distillery bottling for the Summerton Whisky Club? Let me explain. First things first, I trust everyone had a fantastic holiday, whatever it is you celebrate, and I hope everyone goes on to have a fantastic and safe new year. But that's enough of that, let's get down to the whiskey. So this week we are looking at a bottling for the Summerton Whisky Club. That is a paid subscription. I have paid for it, I do not get it for free. I think it's every 2 months you get a bottle sent to you, you don't know what it is. Usually actually really good, and they hold a whiskey festival every year over in St Albans, which funnily enough is where I used to live. But this month's bottling is from the Glasgow Distillery, which funnily enough is where I now live, which is probably my closest distillery. Maybe it could be the Clydeside, but they're not far off. So a bit of history about the Glasgow Distillery. It is the first distillery that's been opened in Glasgow in over 100 years. The original distillery, which is where this distillery takes its name, was originally opened in 1770, hence the Glasgow 1770 on the front of the bottle. Now, it was originally founded in 2012. I believe it opened its doors in 2014. And they produce a number of spirits there, including vodka, gin and rum. But obviously this week we're only interested in the whiskey. They produce both peated, unpeated and triple distilled spirit in this one distillery. This particular bottle is a vatting of both peated and unpeated, but we'll get to that later. So the distillery itself is actually quite small, in a small industrial estate just on the outskirts of Glasgow, but it does boast 2 pairs of stills. So onto this particular bottle. So this is, as I said, a bottling exclusively for the Summerton Whisky Club. It is a vatting of half peated and half unpeated malt. The peated malt was peated to 50 parts per million. If you want to know more about peat, you can check out my video, which I'll link down in the description below. So it was distilled in 2016. It spent 3 years in some ex-bourbon barrels when it was moved into some virgin oak hogsheads, which were medium toasted and heavily charred, hence the relatively dark colour, as it only spent 2 years in those before it was bottled in November 2021 and ended up on my doorstep a month later. I have to say, I do absolutely love the bottles, but I do have one gripe. This is a 50 centilitre bottle. Now, if we compare it, let's just say to this Glencadden 15, this is a 70 centilitre bottle. That is not obvious. Now, I'm not saying that is a cheeky move, but the profile of that bottle, that is not a round bottle. So it's very difficult when you see this to know, unless you read the description, to know that that is a 50 centilitre bottle. This wonderful indie bottling from No Nonsense Whiskey. Vin's an absolute legend and he bottled this with McMurray. I'll probably talk a little bit about this in the future, but for now, they are both 50 centilitre bottles. But, you know, whatever. I actually bought one of the other, so that's the ruby port cask finish back there. It's a fantastic whiskey, and you know, I paid a price that I was expecting to get a 70 centilitre bottle. I'm not going to lie, but a little bit disappointing. Obviously, as I say, it's not initially obvious that it's a 50 centilitre, but whatever, teaches me to read the description. But aside from that, I've not spent a lot of time with this whiskey thus far, but the time I have spent with it, it's been fantastic. So we're getting some tasting notes. Right away, peat smoke on the nose. A delicate, sweet peat smoke, but it's definitely smoky. Maybe little hints of kind of smoked salmon in there. After that, lots of caramelised apple, tartatan, if you've ever had that. That sweet pastry smell, similar to croissants. Very mild bacon spices. Light and floral, maybe a bit of vanilla. Maybe a bit of vanilla going on in there as well. Overall, a very sweet, balanced, but smoky nose. Just a gentle fruitiness underneath it. It doesn't smell overly sweet. As it opens up a bit more, a lot more of those toffee apple notes definitely come forward onto the palate. The smoke gets you straight away. Not overly smoky. Maybe just a touch aniseed balls. It's quite spicy, quite dry as well. Cardamom, cinnamon, cloves. Quite a Christmassy dram, I dare say. Not a hugely light spirit either. It's got quite like a nice meaty texture to it. Something we'd usually associate with fairly short stills. They do mention on their website, they tried to go for it's kind of not too short, not too tall, not too fat, not too slim. Very middle of the road sized stills. To me, this is quite a meaty spirit. On the finish, nice warming oak notes. Quite a lot of vanilla on the tail end of it. As it's fading away, a little bit of black pepper, quite a lot of how do you call it, like roast potatoes. That nice crispy, like burnt butter flavour. It's really, really tasty. Upon revisiting, the licorice notes really come forward. Maybe a touch menthol as well with it. Hot cinnamon. Quite a bit drier. A little bit fruitier, but not sweet fruit. Like dried apples. Not much evolution to it. Very much what you get on the palate. You just kind of get fading away. And right on the tail end, you know, you get some of those slightly more peppery notes. With all that being said, this is a great whiskey. Especially for people that maybe like the peaty side of things and maybe looking for something a little bit more easygoing, not quite as full on the peaty smoky side. I mean, I definitely put this as more of a smoky whiskey than a peaty whiskey. I don't feel like you're getting a lot of that medicinal flavour coming forward. It's definitely more of the smoke, sweet barbecue smoke. All in all, very good. Really excited to try a bit more of the Ruby Port Cask finish. And definitely excited to try some of their lighter spirits as well, because obviously both of these are quite full-on flavour profiles. So, you know, I'd be really interested to try some more of their core range. I mean, it's only down the road. Hopefully I'll get a chance to pop down there and try some while I'm there. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please do click the like button, and if you'd like to support the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and you can click the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload. And on that note, Slàinte mhath.